Do you really need a case study in your portfolio? What if I told you that I managed to land Fortune 500 clients without a single case study? Now, let me explain how in this video. So I want to start with a premise, and that is that a case study can actually be an added benefit in your portfolio, since it essentially going to explain to a potential client what is your workflow, your thought process when approaching a specific project, what was your involvement in the items in your portfolio. So it can definitely be useful in order to get them more context as to the whys of a specific project, and not just showing them some good looking visuals which are not really going to differentiate yourself from a lot of the other good looking projects that there are out there on the internet. Now, that being said, based on my experience and having worked with over 40 clients over the past 8 years as a UI UX designer, what I noticed is that a case study is essentially something that can be covered during the call. And let me explain. So usually the portfolio, the way that I see it, is just a stimulus for a potential client to hop on a call with you. And then during the call, you're going to figure out if you're actually going to be able to create a win-win situation with that client. And usually during those calls, questions such as what is your workflow, what are the past projects that you worked on, and how do you approach a specific project, those type of questions are going to be easier to basically be answered during the call, since the likelihood of an individual going through an entire case study in your portfolio is not low, but kind of, because nowadays people don't have a lot of attention span, and someone that is potentially having to evaluate dozens and dozens of design portfolios are not going to go through each and every case study that you have on the website. So I think that maybe having one or two case studies can be very beneficial, especially when it comes to pillar projects. But I don't think it's absolutely a necessity. And the way I would actually tackle it is to do light case studies, meaning case studies which don't have like 3,000 words or an excessive amount of content in that way. I would try to make it very visual with a key points outlining the main highlights of the project, if you wish. So that would be my recommendation when it comes to case studies. And personally, what I always recommend is to have maybe like one or two case studies at max, and then just focus on having your portfolio solid. This is how I teach in my portfolio course. And what I really want to stress is the importance of hopping on a call with the potential client, because that's where all of the answers, all the questions are going to be answered. And that's where you're going to really figure out if you can create a win-win situation for the both of you. So you can understand what are their current pain points, what are they looking for in a designer, and what is their goal when it comes to hiring you or your design agency. So to sum it up, I think that the case study is a nice have. It's not essential, and I pretty much never had a case study and managed to work and find clients both remotely and locally, but for the very most part I worked remotely for the past 6 years at least. And what I think is that a case study is definitely something which is a nice have, but you don't want to overdo it or overthink it too much, because most of the key questions are going to be asked during the sales call, at least in my personal experience. So I hope this video was helpful, and I want to remind you that I recently launched a mini course on how to get started in UI UX design, which is completely free, and you can find it in the link in the description. So feel free to check it out if you're interested in getting into the world of UI UX design. I think it's one of the best careers to enter these days, simply because the tools are making this job easier, and especially to work remotely. And this is something which anyone can pick up that is interested in a topic which is most data driven but also visual at the same time. So definitely an interesting career path to consider. And if you're interested in seeing more of these type of videos, I have over 400 videos on my YouTube channel covering both software tutorials of softwares like Figma, Sketch, and so on, and also the theory and how to freelance efficiently. So hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.